You have definitely seen this book around. It's on bestseller lists, Oprah's recommended it, you've probably even seen it on a friend's bookshelf. I'm talking about The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. It is a massive cultural phenomenon. But what is it really? Is it this profound guide to personal freedom based on ancient Toltec wisdom? Or is it, like some critics say, just a bunch of overhyped bumper sticker psychology? Well, today we're going to break it all down, the agreements, the hype, and the controversy, to figure it out. But first, let me ask you something. What are the invisible rules that are running your life? You know, the little lines of code in your brain that tell you what you can and can't do, who you're supposed to be, what you're actually worth. The crazy part is, most of us don't even know they're there, but they are guiding pretty much every move we make, every single day. All right, so here is our game plan. We're going to start by digging into the core problem the book tries to solve, our unconscious agreements. Then we'll explore the four big solutions, the paths to freedom, and see how they might actually play out in the real world, like at the office. From there, we're diving straight into the big debate around this book, and we'll wrap it all up by talking about how you can choose your own truth out of all of this. So what's the fundamental problem that the four agreements are supposed to fix? Well, it all kicks off with this concept that the book calls domestication. Think about it. When we're kids, we don't come with a pre-installed rulebook for life, right? We have to learn it from everyone and everything around us. This process, social domestication, is how we soak up all the rules, beliefs, and norms from our parents, school, and our culture. We're basically taught how to behave to get a reward, like attention or approval, and what not to do to avoid being punished or criticized. And here's the kicker. As psychologist John A. Johnson puts it, as kids, we feel like we have no choice. We don't sit there and consciously analyze these rules. If our parents tell us we're messy, we just agree. If a teacher tells us we're brilliant, we agree with that too. We make all these agreements without ever really consenting to them, and they end up becoming the invisible limiting beliefs that run our adult lives. Okay, so if we're all walking around being controlled by these old, unconscious agreements, how in the world do we break free? Well, this is where Don Miguel Ruiz steps in with his solution, the four agreements. He presents them as these four powerful tools for finding personal freedom. And here they are. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best. Now, at first glance, they seem incredibly simple, right? Almost too simple. But the whole argument of the book is that if you actually practice them, you can completely reshape your reality. Let's take a quick look at each one. All right, agreement number 1. This one is arguably the foundation for everything else. Impeccable literally means without sin. So the idea is that your words are these incredibly powerful tools of creation. This means you stop using them for gossip, for beating yourself up, or for spreading negativity. Instead, you use your words to build up yourself and the people around you. Okay, now for the second agreement. Don't take anything personally. This is probably the most famous and definitely the most controversial. The book argues that whatever people say or do to you, it's just a projection of their own reality, their own movie. It's about them. It is not about you. And if you can truly get this, you basically become immune to the poison of other people's words, whether it's an insult or even praise that doesn't feel right. The third agreement tackles something that causes so much unnecessary drama, making assumptions. We just assume we know what other people are thinking, we assume they should know what we're thinking, and it leads to a total mess of misunderstandings and hurt feelings. The solution? Have the courage to just ask questions, communicate clearly. Don't invent an entire soap opera in your head when the truth is probably just one conversation away. And finally, the fourth agreement, which kind of ties them all together, always do your best. And this is so important because your best is not some static, perfect standard. Your best when you're healthy and full of energy is going to be way different from your best when you're sick or tired. The point isn't to be perfect. It's just to give the optimal effort in any given moment. If you do that, there's no space left for self-judgment or regret. Okay, so these concepts sound pretty good, but, do they actually work in the messy reality of everyday life? Let's put them to the test in a place where our peace of mind is constantly challenged, the workplace. Just think about the everyday problems at work. You've got that negative gossip that's always swirling around. That's a perfect place to practice being impeccable with your word. Are you constantly in meetings that end in total confusion and conflict? Stop making assumptions and just ask for clarity. Feeling attacked by a coworker's comment or feeling like you're not good enough after a performance review? Try not to take it personally. See it as a reflection of their world, not a final judgment on you. And that feeling of burnout? That's where always do your best comes in, reminding you to find balance and not push past your limits. But, and this is a really big but, for as many people who love this book, there are just as many who have some serious problems with it. A lot of people find these agreements to be way too simple, totally impractical, or maybe even damaging. So let's wade into the great debate. And what's really fascinating here is that the author himself gave us the perfect tool for this debate in a follow-up book. The fifth agreement is be skeptical, but learn to listen. It's basically an invitation to question everything, and that includes the original four agreements. So let's take him up on that offer and listen to the skepticism. This comment from a Reddit user really nails a common criticism. Is this whole philosophy just selfish spiritualism? Is it a manual for only caring about your own inner peace and ignoring everyone else? The idea that your true self is your inner child strikes a lot of people as, well, childish, ignoring the real responsibilities we have as adults in a society. That second agreement, don't take anything personally, is usually the biggest point of contention. On one hand, supporters say it's like a shield that protects you from a lot of unnecessary pain. But on the other hand, skeptics fire back asking, is that even practical? I mean, if your actions genuinely hurt someone, can you just turn around and say, hey, don't take it personally? Doesn't that just let you off the hook and shred the whole idea of accountability? It is a really, really good question. And the critiques definitely don't stop there. Many people write it off as just being too simple, filled with contradictions, or based on spiritual mumbo-jumbo. But there's a much more serious concern. In situations of actual abuse, telling a victim, don't take it personally, could be incredibly damaging. And this leads some to feel that the whole philosophy, if you take it to its extreme, can come across as self-absorbed or even toxic. So, you've got passionate fans on one side and some very sharp critics on the other. Where does that leave us? Well, that brings us to the final and honestly, the most important part of this whole thing, choosing your own truth. Maybe the healthiest way to look at the four agreements is not as some strict, unchangeable dogma that you have to follow perfectly. Instead, think of it like a toolkit. There are four different tools you can pick up to examine your own mind and your own life. The goal isn't really to follow four rules from a book. The real goal is to use them to question your own limiting beliefs and hopefully build a life that feels more authentic to you. So, I'll just leave you with this question. Now that you've heard the core ideas, seen how they could be applied, and listened to the sharpest criticisms, what are you going to do with it all? Which of these agreements, if any, will you choose to adopt and make your own? Because the power to decide, as the book itself would probably argue, is entirely yours.